I know everyone says this, but I am genuinely excited to tell you about our newest sponsor, Keen. What is Keen, you ask? I cannot wait to tell you. Keen is the leading provider of online psychic readings. With more than 35 million successful sessions under their belt, Keen is one of the most trusted providers in the space. I'm talking about tarot readings. I'm talking about love life readings. I'm talking about astrology readings. And yes, I'm talking about chakra cleansings and many more areas of expertise. Go to trykeen.com/thoseguys and get your first 5 minutes of any reading for only $1. What? The world is made up of things we don't understand, of things we can't see or touch, so expand your horizons while supporting those guys you hate.
Those guys.
What if you're drinking during your responsibilities just to jazz them up a little bit, make them a little bit more fun?
Because that is the drinking equivalent of just the tip, and as we know, Ryan, it is never just the tip.
Come get Papa Kiss.
You hate.
So here's the deal, and please don't do just a tip when we're talking about babysitting, okay? I've seen the internet. It is replete with those kind of issues.
I was going to say, that's how we're going to bring people in, baby. We'll babysit your hopefully 18-year-old daughter or son.
Those guys you hate, 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 guys.
Tyler, there's a lot of media and content that involve dystopian societies. Why do you think that is? Are you interested in the dystopian, like Fallout? Fallout's a huge thing. It has been for a decade.
Hunger Games to a certain degree, which is good.
Yep.
I think we as a species have always been fascinated by the idea of how will our civilization come to an end.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I have found a sign of that happening, and I never thought it would look this way. Swedish furniture titan
IKEA
will pay people €14.80 per hour, which is about $16. Okay. That sounds reasonable so far, yeah.
$14.80?
Yep.
That can't be right. Euros are another dollar form.
It's got the E with the 2 slashes. I think that's euros. Okay. About $16 per hour to work where, Tyler? It has a store that you're going to be unfamiliar with. Where is this IKEA store that's paying people $16 an hour to work at it?
Is it their meatball factory?
No.
I know they love their meatballs.
They do love, they put, not just your Flukenflufel that you're sleeping on, they also put Swedish meatballs on the map. Do I have that correct?
What's that? Sweden has left us? That's our Sweden's gone? Okay, yeah.
I insulted everybody's mothers.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Come on, they can't get mad about that. They're still, not unlike that guy from Wheel of Fortune, they're stealing all the vowels, Tyler. But they are IKEA is going to pay people $16 an hour to work at its virtual store within Roblox.
Oh.
There's an IKEA in Roblox. How does that work? What does that mean?
I assume you have to pay actual money to buy furniture in a virtual space?
I don't know. I bring you the headlines.
Yeah.
Not unlike that joke we wrote in the pregame.
Yeah.
I tell you the end, you got to figure out the rest of it.
Wow, our dystopia is dumb. It's not even exciting.
Very strange. Idiocracy was like, it wasn't far enough down. You know what I mean? I'm also going to go check that shit out. All right, Tyler, are you ready to get crucified in an old school segment that we have not done in, I would venture to say, years?
Let's do it.
Talking morality with Tyler Menendez. Talking morality with Tyler Menendez. What will he say? What will he do? Even when he tells us, will we know that it is true? Wow. Now that is when I put in effort, Tyler, and didn't understand how these things need to be quick. Oh man,
there's nothing wrong with letting it play out.
Bit of a banger there, I gotta say.
I always picture somebody lumbering as we did here.
Big giant guy,
like Lenny from Mice and Men, you know,
carrying invisible suitcases, arms not moving. All right, Tyler, I got 3 topics here that is really going to pin you down. It's going to force you into morality, and I believe that these are hot button issues that you can fall on either side. Talking morality with Tyler Menendez.
Okay.
Number 1, will you, aforementioned Tyler Menendez, put your airplane seat back on a flight? So in other words,
absolutely.
But are you familiar with the morality discussion that I am trying to delve into here, where people will fight saying that if you put your airplane seat back even an inch, you are a jerk?
Fuck you.
Oh,
yeah, I'm fine with that.
well, you've definitely pushed them off their point, Tyler.
It was put in the system for a reason. I am following said system. I paid for the seat.
Wow.
I'm allowed to push it back, and it only goes back
Wow.
like 3 inches.
Okay,
You
all
can
right.
take 3 inches.
Said like an aging white man. It's just the way the system works. What do you want me to do about it?
Hey, listen, I go back 3 inches. You should go back 3 inches. We're right back to where we started. Everybody's unhappy together.
What about those people at the very back of the plane who can't go back 3 inches because they got the crapper behind them? I've never called it a crapper in my life.
It was gross the way you said it.
Terrible.
That's what you get for waiting until the last minute and then getting the crapper seat.
Oh, man.
This is how we grow as people. You learn your lessons.
So why do people get so upset about that? Why is that such a morality issue for people?
Well, because
I will say, I agree with you.
Yeah.
If it's there, it's obviously, if we weren't supposed to do it, it wouldn't be an option.
Yeah. Well, our anger should be directed at the airline companies.
Agreed.
There is already such little space to be had.
They're packing us in there like cattle.
Exactly. That when you lean back, I'm already encroaching on your very finite amount of space. But again, you should lean back. Now, again, as I said, we're all miserable together. Equally.
Hard to argue. And you know what? I had something that it must have gotten lost in the shuffle here. This has nothing to do with what we're talking about, but I got to get in. I found out what the name of groupies for stand-up comedians are. Have you ever heard of that, Tyler? This is real. This is not a punchline.
No, I believe you. I mean, I just would reference them as groupies.
There's a name for them.
Oh, go on.
Chuckle fuckers. That's 100. If you
I prefer groupies.
If you Google chuckle fuckers, this is gonna come up. I meant to mention it to you. This is a weird time to do it, but I got it out. I'm glad we.
Man, I will know I've made it as a stand-up comedian when I get my first chuckle fucker.
I will happily be your first chuckle fucker. It's like when you put $1 in the tip jar to like entice other people to put money in.
That's
That's my bottom chuckle fucker.
Yeah.
All right, Tyler. What about this? Is in the exact same realm. What about you go to a grocery store? Grocery store, you've heard of that, right?
Of course.
Okay.
I love a good perusal through a grocery
You do.
store.
You go to a grocery store more often than necessary. I've noticed.
Almost every day.
Yeah,
because
dads like that. It's very strange.
Well, I only buy enough food for 1 or 2 days, and then I got to go back. I really enjoy it.
Here's what I'm going to tell you: buy food for 4 days, half the amount of trips. Not bad.
No, because my bananas go bad,
Yeah.
and then
Bananas a dangerous game.
Yeah.
Produce, all of it. Just eat McDonald's. That shit never goes bad.
That's actually kind of true.
All right, your shopping carts, Tyler. Now, there's 3 options here, and this is another thing that whips people up. Do you, A, return your cart, B, and by return your cart, I mean push it all the way back up, B, return it to one of those little corrals, one of those little shopping cart corrals that didn't exist when I was younger, or C, well, I guess there's D. C, put it onto a curb where it can't go anywhere, put it in a place where it can't roll into anything, or D, just leave it right where you stand like a real chuckle fucker. You know what I mean?
I like to put it right in the middle of the street.
Oh,
all
the above.
I want to watch people drive around
I swing it around and just slam it into whatever's next to me.
No, I go with B. I push it into one of those little
Corrals.
The corrals for it. I want it to be out of the way. I don't want it to hit a car or inconvenience anybody in any way.
Now, what if the corral is very far away?
Oh, they're not. They have like 50 of them across the parking lot.
Hypothetically, Tyler, come on.
I push it back into the store.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Now, here is my situation with that, and I will tell you, perhaps I'm going to get people super angry at me. I am one to hang it up on a curb. I will push it into a corral if there is one near me. I want to help out as much as possible, but if not, I will secure it to where it doesn't go anywhere. Now, I have heard people link this with morality. I've heard people think that this is a real test on somebody's morality.
It's a litmus test. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
The reason that I think that, not unlike the airplane button, I worked at a grocery store and I was paid to go out and get those shopping carts. That is somebody's job to do so. I don't think the bag.
What the fuck does that mean? You work at a restaurant and it's your job to clean up after your customers, but if somebody comes and just sprays ketchup all over the countertop, you would punch that person in the nose.
To a reasonable extent. I don't think hooking your shopping cart onto a curb is unreasonable. I think putting it out of the way, and you're going to be walking by here anyway, grabbing this one isn't unreasonable, but...
Says the immoral person.
Sure. I don't like where this is. I don't like where this is going.
You played yourself.
And finally, Tyler, as I changed the subject...
Run away from that as quickly as possible.
Fuck you, shopping cart guys.
Whoa.
Nah, I'm kidding. It used to be me, and I would pick them up, and I never thought bad about anybody.
You're pulling up the ladder after you've climbed up to the top.
I'm cutting it at the top rope. And finally, let's revisit your answer, Tyler. We've talked about this on the show before.
Bring it on.
How far are you willing to walk for a shady spot now? It has nothing to do with morality. It's just, I got to know this.
Oh, I'll be across the street. I don't give a
Brother,
shit.
I will park back at the house if there is shade and just walk wherever we're going.
There is something to be said about the real estate that is, it's even worse than the housing market when summertime hits and those shady spots. You know what I like to do is find one of those spots, because I'm gonna be in there a while. I like to really peruse. I like to get my knuckles deep in the grocery store.
Oh yeah.
And so I'll pull.
We've discussed it. You seem to have an unhealthy relationship with Sprouts.
I'll pull into a spot right as the sun is starting to put shade on that spot. So by the time I come out, it's fully covered. I'm good to go.
That's the deal. You got to watch the axis of the earth. That's the deal. Barometric pressure, very important. But the idea is down here in South Florida, and I know we've already discussed this, in the middle of, the beginning of June, so this is really summertime, it is wild. It is crazy right now. So I am willing to walk as far as I need to, because that's it. And that is the end of Talking Morality with Tyler Menendez, and I think you did a great job. I think that I'm the one who came off looking poor there. So,
Agreed.
So good on me, Tyler.
Agreed. Well, backfired.
How about that?
Backfired on you.
All right, Tyler, let's go to GBI. Or take a break?
I think we take a break and then go to GBI.
Let's go to break. Let's go to GBI, and let's wrap this puppy up, spank it on the bottom, and then, actually, that'll probably be it.
Let me tell you about our newest partner, Mint Mobile. With Mint Mobile, you can drop your expensive cell phone plan without having to sacrifice coverage, speed, or data. They're able to provide such an amazing offer by cutting out the middleman and selling to you directly online. Plans start for as little as $15 a month. $15 a month, guys. That is so unbelievably cheap. And making the switch is incredibly easy. Keep your current phone and phone number and activate your plan in minutes. Remember to support those who help us. Just go to trymintmobile.com/thoseguys to get started. That's trymintmobile.com/thoseguys.
Those guys.
Now, hopefully, the world is turned around a little bit, and the people who are being that divisive now kind of don't know what to do.
Yeah, it's an ebb and flow, just like everything else in the universe, and these things have a balance and counterbalance to them.
I love it.
You're gonna swing it. What do you love? What are you loving right now?
You hate.
I love, you saying the things that you said specifically. I love when the show moves from that thought. I wasn't listening.
Yeah.
When we edit, we hear this a lot. Where I have statements that I use to just move on to the next thing. I appreciate you calling me out for it. I'm gonna fucking beat the shit out of you.
Yeah, that's
Don't
fine.
never
That's
do that
fine. Let the world know what's going on behind the scenes.
Well, hey, keep up the good work, and you're dead.
Those guys you hate. Guys you hate. Guys you hate. Guys.
And we are back, Tyler. We are back. I feel like I've said way too much on this show. I feel uncomfortable just expressing myself.
It's a podcast. I mean, this is literally what we're supposed to do.
I know, but I'm always wondering, am I normal? Like, is this strange behavior? Do you ever listen to a podcast or a story or read a book or whatever, and you just have these reoccurring thoughts in your mind? Like, let's say I'm listening to a Dateline and the main character's name is Denise. Every time I hear the name Denise, something in my head says, what about the nephew? Do you have anything like that? Intrusive thoughts of hilarity?
No. All my intrusive thoughts are dark and terrible.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not a whole lot of humor in
Really?
like, you should really kick that baby stroller over, you know?
Okay, and this is what you're thinking on a daily basis.
Not right now.
Okay.
Not right now.
Okay.
Right now.
Somebody move that baby stroller, please.
Yeah.
I am trying to get through the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. You familiar?
Terrible book.
Did you-
Maybe terrible's
Terrible
a bit too
seems
strong.
a lot.
But it's not. I didn't enjoy it at all.
Okay.
I gave up like halfway through.
I did as well, and I am now back. I'm now trying to. I'm thinking next book, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Oh, so good.
I've never read the book. I've seen the movie, never read the book.
So good.
So the main character in the story's name is, and this is embarrassing. I shouldn't be saying this on a podcast. I shouldn't. Coriolanus. His name is Coriolanus.
Is it? Are you headed towards anus in any way? shape, or-
Coriolanus. Like in my mind, there's a
yeah.
voice being like, man, that kid is all anus. You know what I mean? And I just don't. It's not helpful. It's troubling.
That one's kind of fun.
It is. That's the thing. It's
kind of fun.
It is fun.
Yeah.
That kid.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, no,
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
want to say it again.
Yeah.
But so is that?
All
That's
anus.
not
Did you say all anus?
anus from here to fa-fa-boom.
Yeah.
But okay, so that's normal. I shouldn't be worried about telling people that.
Oh no, not at all. You should be very worried. But
Okay.
at the very least, you get a little wackadoo out of it. It's fun.
We'll edit that out.
Yeah.
All right, Tyler, let's do our news segment. This one's a little different than normal. GBI, good, bad, interesting. I've got an interesting at the end. Let's do GBII.
All right. GBI, a good story, a bad story, and an interesting story, followed by a follow-up interesting story.
A terrifying story. Is this our oldest segment?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, it's up there. No, this one wins. All right, let's jump right into our good.
You are an idiot!
How is that good?
Because it's just a fun little jingle jangle.
It's a jaunty little number.
It's a good time. Look at how I'm waving my arms back and
You
forth.
look like an animatronic pirate from
Good times.
the renowned Disney ride, Pirates, the Caribbean.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Ryan, are you missing any teeth?
Yes,
Yes, you are.
I am.
Well, hopefully, if things go according to plan, by 2030, we gotta wait a little bit, but by 2030, a new drug will be introduced that will allow people to regrow teeth.
Wait, like from baby teeth?
No, you regrow an adult tooth. It would fill the space that's there.
Does it start off small and then get bigger?
Yeah, as growing things happen.
I don't think teeth grow like that. I think that teeth come in full size, don't they? I'm sorry, and I'm not trying to ruin your segment.
That's okay.
I'm trying to understand.
I'm not up to date, but it's a team of Japanese researchers led by Katsu Takahashi,
Nailed it.
head of dentistry and oral surgery at Kitano Hospital.
Okay.
The intravenous drug deactivates the USAG-1 protein, whatever
Sure.
that is, that suppresses tooth growth. Blocking that from interacting with other proteins triggers bone growth, and voila, you've got yourself some brand new teeth.
But that only happens once in our life when you're saying inhibits tooth growth.
Hey man, I'm not a tooth doctor.
I'm not a toothologist. But the fact is, I'm just trying to wrap my mind around what that means. But okay.
Yeah.
That's, yeah. I want baby teeth in my mouth. You're right. You understand what I'm saying.
That was bad. Let's go into our bad
Let's get
to
out
make
of
it a
here.
little bit better.
Sure.
Pew, 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 pew.
Mom has all of our baby teeth, and I do believe there was a point where our son put one of Michael's baby teeth in his mouth.
Also his toe, but I mean, we got a weird family.
Hell yeah, I
So
suck toes.
What are you gonna do?
All right.
Moving on to our bad, and this, sincerely, we need to give this the seriousness that it deserves, because it's
Oh, I thought you were going to shut the music off. I got scared for a minute.
No. But this, what is it? And I'm genuinely asking, although I don't know if we can formulate an answer now. What is it about not only something bad happening, but when something happens without cause, without or seemingly without cause? So you had the famous story, or I don't know how famous it is, of the two sisters that ran onto the highway together that seemingly lost their mind at the same time.
Erickson sisters.
The Erickson sisters.
Yeah.
And there was no cause that we could tell for it, which to me made it a lot scarier.
the French call it a folie à deux. It is the insanity of two people at the same time.
That's right, but I don't even mean just insanity of a person. I just mean the trauma of the situation.
What was the trigger, in other words?
You could also point to the Vegas shooting. Remember when that guy killed dozens of people? And we never learned why. The shooting is obviously terrible, but there's that added element of, we have no idea why he did this.
It's like the Night Stalker. It's like Richard Ramirez, where he did it without motive, which makes you a true monster.
Yeah.
It's so scary. If you are, Jeffrey Dahmer and you want the bodies, that's something, it's crazy, but at least it makes some sort of sense.
Yeah, but there, as I said, there's just something to the unknown that scares us as humans. Well, this story has that. Her name is Bianca Ellis, 32 years old, of Cleveland. Now, Miss Ellis she's caught, this entire situation was caught on camera. She has absolutely no relationship with the victims. She walked into a store, bought a knife, immediately walked out and passed by a mother with her 3-year-old son and followed them to her car and stabbed both of them, killing the 3-year-old. Stabbed the little boy in the face until he died. Sorry, I know it's serious.
Yeah. No, okay.
But she did this and then just walked off. And so when the police found her, she was still carrying the knife. They arrested her. She did not put up a fight of any kind, did not say a word to the police officers other than, "I want my lawyer," was brought to court on a $1 million bond, did not say a word, had her head down on the table.
So she's still going, whatever she was going through at that point, she is still going through it.
Whatever happened, she just committed this atrocious act, never saying a word about anything, and again, has zero relationship with these people, does not know them, and has absolutely no violent crimes in her past. She has 2 arrests, both for like petty theft or whatever it is.
Sure.
This woman just seemingly snapped out of nowhere and committed murder on a child.
In such a heinous and up close, it wasn't like you shot from across the somewhere and hit the kid.
Exactly.
That's stabbing somebody in the face, very personal.
Deeply personal.
Yeah, so really what you're asking is, obviously there has to be some form of trigger there, right? Like that can't just be something that you wake up and like your brain chemistry changed so radically overnight that you launch into that, right?
I genuinely don't know, and that's why I asked at the beginning of this story, which is there's just something about the unknown about this story. Because say they knew each other, the mom and her were best friends, and then they got into a fight and the kid accidentally was stabbed.
You have an explanation.
Yeah. It's still a terrible story, but hey, we understand why it happened. There's something about her, she just did it. Just did it for some unknown reason, or maybe she doesn't even know herself.
And she wasn't in the middle of some passionate moment where she killed herself afterwards or whatever. She just went on living her life.
Just walked away, again, with the knife. She didn't even try to hide the weapon or pretend she didn't do it. Just did it.
It seemed like she had some sort of a detachment from reality.
Seemingly.
Oh, I mean, hopefully, right?
I mean, yeah. I mean, obviously, regardless of why she did it, she needs to be put away for the rest of her life.
Of course.
But
if that's an option, we got to lock you up.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed. And just on a side note, can we please get rid of the bond system? It's like, oh, hey, this woman, you stabbed a child to death, but if you got $1 million, you can leave jail.
Well, I mean, what ways are we going to fight crime if it's not with how much money you have? Like, is it really illegal? I don't know. Let me check my bank account. Oh, it's not. That's cool.
So what they're telling rich people, billionaires, is, hey, you can kill a kid and you can be free that day.
Oh, welcome to the world, Tyler.
I think it needs to be talked
Take your
about.
shoes off. Kick your feet back. It's nice and comfortable in here.
I don't have the bond money to get out of that. I'm sorry.
James Bond.
So I'm sorry for that story, but there just is something
It's interesting.
about no, that's bad.
Oh, excuse me.
Just something about the unknown of crime that just adds that element, which is just makes it so much worse.
But that's the thing with Ted Bundy. What gives him that, and forgive me for just going to this well.
You love those serial
I
killers.
can't get enough of them, Tyler. But the fact of this guy had all accounts, he had a great upbringing. How did you end up here?
Yeah.
What are we doing? You know what I mean?
Maybe he just decided that human skin looks delicious.
Chicharron, baby.
Yeah. And into our interesting.
Oopsie whoopsie. Ooh, we made a fucky wucky. A little fucko boingo.
Could you do me a favor next time and turn that up to where it injures my inner ear next time?
You got it, buddy.
That'd be great. Thanks.
Now, this is a story that a lot of people are talking about, but I could not go past this episode without bringing this up. Elon Musk, his Starlink. Have you heard of this?
It's the thing that they're putting a chip in you.
No. That's Neuralink.
Okay.
Starlink.
Too many links.
A lot of links.
Too many links.
Starlink is the web of satellites in orbit that's giving internet to like the farthest corners of the planet.
Okay, I've heard that. Yeah.
Yeah, and they're constantly putting up new satellites, and they really are getting internet to places in the world that have never had it before.
Okay.
In this case, it was taken to Brazil's Marubu tribe, a 2,000-member community that has lived along the Itui River in the Amazon rainforest for centuries.
Okay.
Yeah. They inhabit small huts. They sustain themselves on a diet of wild boar, fish, and banana porridge.
So they are still, like I think we discussed this recently. They're like an untouched tribe.
Well, they have been contacted. There's lots of tribes out there that still live like this, but that have interactions with the outside world. There's only a few left. Which I believe is on one of the islands outside of India, which is like the uncontacted tribe. If you go over there, they'll kill you with an arrow.
They killed that
missionary.
Yeah.
They did not want Jesus. They let him know very loudly. Did not want Jesus.
Give him a chance. This
Yeah.
reminds me a lot of the beginning of that book. Middle of that book. Towards the end.
Are you checking about the Bible?
Yeah, you heard of it?
Yeah.
#1 New York Times bestseller time.
Yeah, Jesus dies at the end, by the way.
What?
Does not kill Voldemort.
I was gonna watch the movie. I just don't buy Ben Affleck in this.
Yeah.
I just don't. I'm sorry.
He cannot pull off long hair.
And why did he do that to Jennifer Garner? I just don't understand.
Elon Musk, his Starlink, has brought the internet to this remote tribe. And they say it really has done a lot of good for them. It has given them access to be able to call emergency services.
That's nice.
In the act of something they deal with a lot out there are venomous snake bites.
Okay.
Which is something you got to act on as quickly as possible.
I would agree.
Agreed. However, the leader of the tribe has also stated that the younger generation has now become addicted to porn and social media.
Yeah, I feel like I knew where this was going. That porn, slippery slope.
Yeah. And
I would like to know what kind of porn they're looking at.
Me too. And that's the thing is that according to them, their history is passed down orally. So they're very terrified that their entire history is going to be destroyed to a certain extent because the younger generation has no interest in taking the time to learn all of these facts.
Gotta open up a website for it, man. You gotta put that shit on the computer.
Yeah. Put some titties up there, and maybe they'll want to learn.
TIDDYs.
But is that not empirical evidence that this stuff will just rot your brain?
Is there anybody out there who's arguing on the opposite side of this?
No. I'm just people who make the Facebook and stuff.
I don't know. I think they did that documentary where they were like on the other side.
Those were the founders. I'm talking about like Zuckerberg.
Oh, the currents.
I'm sure Zuckerberg will come out like the cigarette companies in the 70s. This doesn't cause cancer at all.
Sure, go back to your war bunker.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So and now I know Ryan has an interesting.
All right, let's move on to our second interesting. So cute. Tyler, here's why we don't have to worry about that, because I'm going to give you a fill in the blank and you tell me the period of time.
Don't have to worry about what? The turtle banging?
We don't have to worry about all the problems that represents with the internet.
Social media, okay.
Because humans inhale the equivalent of a blank in microplastics each week. So give me the surface area there. Like when you compare everything to a microwave, that's a unit of measurement. Humans inhale the equivalent of blank in microplastics each week.
A banana's worth.
That's a shitload of microplastics, Tyler.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be able...
A penny's worth. A nickel's
First of
worth.
all, I believe that was Richie Rich's butler. And number two, a credit card, Tyler. You shit all over it.
I'm sorry.
I shouldn't have done that.
Those tiny little green bananas is what I meant.
Okay, thank you.
The tiny little
Still
ones.
bigger than a credit card.
It's like a pinky size.
A recent study led by the University of Technology, Sydney, has found that humans might inhale approximately 16.2 bits of microplastics each hour, or the equivalent of a credit card per week. How is that going to affect us, Tyler? Plastics, not meant for the human body, Tyler.
Yeah, until
Not
we
meant-
evolve to absorb them.
by the time we're dead.
Yeah.
Microplastics, tiny debris in the environment generated from the degradation of plastic products. These particles often contain highly toxic chemicals that pose significant health dangers. And at the beginning, in the intro, I related this to leaded gasoline. And at the time, it was making people react in aggressive and dangerous ways. Is this our scourge of the airways of this particular modern time? Is this going to, what do you think about microplastics? You pro or where you at?
No, that's the whole thing is we found plastics not only in the human body. There was that report that just came out recently about microplastics that were found in men's testicles,
Right
which
in
it's
the
getting,
gonads.
it's getting down in there.
Sure.
But then there was also a bag at the bottom, a plastic bag at the bottom of Mariana's Trench, the deepest point in our oceans. Plastic is just, it's something right now that if the human race were to die off right now, we were just to disappear and aliens were to show up 10,000, 100,000 years in the future, they would still find a film of plastic across this entire planet that just wouldn't be gone.
And as the planet to some degree represents a human body in terms of human beings are the cells all moving around on top of this giant living organism, the same can be said for the insides of our body. It's looking more and more like we are imbibing this through all of our orifices, and it's going to be a problem moving forward.
See, what I'm hearing is I don't have to worry about hurricanes.
Hurricanes, AI, none of that. Maybe AI will figure out a way to clean up our mess when we're gone.
Yeah, by getting rid of us.
By getting rid of us.
Yeah.
And that is GBII, Captain. And that's that. That was my facts.
Oh,
my
okay.
facts app.
Okay.
James Bond, who I referenced on this show already, car had 3 different license plates in Goldfinger. So there you go.
That was a terrible fact.
Listen, man.
I don't mind using the word terrible for that. That was
I'm
a terrible
the one
fact.
who's bringing you the information. You decide what to do with it.
Well, you're reading something from an app. They're bringing the
Well,
the
we're a
information.
team, Tyler. So, all right, let's go ahead. Let's close out that music. Let's close out the show.
yeah.
Tell these people how to boogie with us.
Go to thoseguysyouhate.com, click on the links and subscribe
else.
on everything. You can go to YouTube or Instagram at _,
Or else.
you hate. You should probably leave the or else after the name that I'm telling them.
You're right. Marketing's not my main.
Confusing.
Yeah.
Or you can go to TikTok or else
He speaks for both of us.
at _you hate. No underscore on TikTok.
There you go. Great job, Tyler.
Yeah.
Very nice. Always fun coming in here and doing it with you.
Yeah.
The exhaustion has hit me. I can feel it.
me too.
In my bones. People probably think that this is so easy, and it is. I mean, it's not easy. Collecting all the information and then keeping your energy up when you give it back. It can be challenging.
Well, I think it's
We're
really
heroes.
I think it's really lost on it was on me, on so many people. It was on me before we started doing this, that the brain consumes so many calories so that when you sit there for an hour and a half and just pump out hopefully
hilarious content.
entertainment, it really takes it out of you.
When you said to me, thinking burns calories the same way that moving does, I thought you were an idiot. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I think it burns about 500 calories a day on average.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. I am tired, but that was fun. And I hope that these things are wacky, but I also hope that they're helpful. I hope that by putting ourselves out there, some of this cathartic work that you and I do, or there's so long in our lives that we hid, and I'm sure we still hide like everybody else does, hopefully coming in here and saying things that can be poked and prodded and made fun of in a fun way can be helpful to people. So great job, Tyler.
Agreed.
What is the moral of the story for you this week?
My moral of the story is I refute AI. I'm done with you, AI. You're no longer my overlords. I now prostrate myself in front of microplastics, my new god.
What in what way?
Because that's going to kill me long before the AI gets here. So,
yeah,
so
AI
now
can
I have
chew
my respect to microplastics.
And microplastics is a kind god.
Yes. Yeah, please kill me quickly. I don't want to suffer.
Done and done.
Ryan, what's the moral of the story?
The moral of the story this week is... Do I want to go back to the safe thing again, Tyler? I hit that pretty hard.
You did hit that pretty hard.
I hit
I'm
that
feeling
pretty
unsafe
hard.
because of how rough you talked about it.
Sure, you did the microplastics. I don't want to do that all anus thing. That was very weird. I'm going to do it. The idea of these things, let's not even talk about whether or not you feel safe or how that affects your physical body. I would say giving yourself the room, giving yourself the space to ask these kind of questions is a beautiful thing. Challenging your own fundamental beliefs and asking, why do I behave in this way? When I do behave in this way, how does it represent itself in my mind? How does it represent itself in my body? And really being present and aware, sorry for all the buzzwords, when your body and your mind respond. And not just thinking like, no, that's not me. That's not who I am. Breaking those things down is how we really get to know ourselves, and that's how we grow. What do you think about that?
Agreed. It's scary, but totally worth it.
We're those guys you hate.
Be kind, or we'll kill you.
Sure. And then school shootings would be hilarious. This is what I'm saying, is that often on this show, I feel like things get misconstrued. Like I have a larger point, but you force me into this area of, and I don't want to skirt the blame, but you force me into this area of being a clown. And some of the things that I say come off in a way like what does that mean?
I will admit, that one's a bit unfair. We were in the middle of a conversation,
unflattering.
and I sliced that up to make you sound ridiculous.
And we don't even know whether that's AI or not.
No, that's definitely you.
We're not sure. We're on the fence and we're not investigating any further.
Well, I'm trying to remember what it was that we were talking about. It was something along the lines of like, if we changed guns where instead of they fired bullets, it would be like you pulled the trigger and the flag would come out the end like a cartoon.
No, it
Where
had to
said,
be
like,
funnier
bang.
than that, because I would have said that's kind of cheesy. You know
Or
what I
maybe
mean?
it was a boxing glove at the very end of it on a
funnier,
spring. Yeah.
much funnier. You could
Yeah.
hit somebody in the crotch. And you know what's great about that? You get up and walk away.
From the crotch shot?
From the crotch shot.
From the crotch shot?
From the crotch shot. Yeah, as opposed to nowadays,
Bullets. Yeah.
the old punch from the bullet.
Yeah.
Not as good.
Yeah.
Hi, Tyler.
That makes crotch shots totally different.
Very quickly, just to close this loop in our own personal life, a tidbit, a small piece of tasty food.
I genuinely never knew
A
that.
small piece of tasty food, or a small and particularly interesting item of gossip or information. Okay. Anyway.
Ooh, a piece of candy.
All right, Tyler, for pregame, do you have anything for pregame?
No,
Okay.
not necessarily.
I have four things. Two of them are serious. Two of them are wacky. And I will let you navigate these straights.
All right.
Like Washington on the Delaware, you have wooden teeth and you have to make decisions for people that you don't care about.
That's always your go-to for George Washington, as if there are no other facts about that man.
We know you cut down the tree. We found your powdered wig.
He needed dentures.
I don't know. You know, the thing is, it's been said so many times, it's become true.
Sure. Yeah, that's fair.
So I want to bridge this gap today between the whimsical and the serious. I want to talk about topical things that really mean something to people. And also I want people to be like, that's really stupid. Why am I listening to this?
Okay.
So let's see if we could do that.
Let's do it.
You want a serious one or you want a wacky one?
I think if we go in the series of patterns where we go serious, wacky, we can end on the wacky, which I would much prefer.
I like how you let us see behind the curtain like
Yeah.
you were on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
Yeah.
You were working through the answers. Like, C, it's definitely not C.
I'd like to phone a friend, please.
Somebody said they care about me? Okay. And before I do that, that made me think of last night my son and I tried to watch Tropic Thunder.
Oh, so good. What do you mean tried to?
We watched about 20 minutes of it, and then all of a sudden it said that was not available anymore. We tried to go back, and it was gone.
What?
They took it off the service.
While you were watching it?
We had the tropic, but we didn't get to the thunder. The thunder never showed.
I've never heard of somebody getting cut off in the middle of their movie.
It was crazy.
At least check in to see how many people are watching.
It was ugly. It was ugly. And if I told you the process that I have to go through to find a movie with my OCD, it is disgusting. I was scrolling and I was saying to my son, I hate this. I feel sick. I have to see every movie before I choose.
Yeah, that's a first world problem if I've ever heard it.
Okay, do not diminish my anxieties. So we switched to Dungeons and Dragons.
Really good.
Honor Amongst Thieves.
Yeah.
He didn't want it. I just chose it. I overrode him because I'm like, I'm not looking again.
You're the parent.
He loved it.
Yeah. Oh,
he loved it. He thought it was
excellent.
awesome. I gave him like after we finished eating, I said, hey, you want to go? He's like, we could watch the rest of this. All right, so here's my series.
I don't want to subject you to this. No, it's fine. We can watch the movie if you want.
Yeah, no, he was like, oh, that was pretty good. It wasn't too nerdy.
Yeah, it was that really exceeded my expectations. Going into it, I'm like, it's got a great cast, but plenty of movies have failed me in the past. I walked out of the theater going, man, that was excellent.
Number one, it was playful. Number two, Chris Pine.
Excellent.
I am pretty sure my son walked away from that experience last night thinking that I was gay. I could not stop complimenting Chris Pine.
Yeah.
He is delightful.
Yeah,
He's in the same realm with Ryan Reynolds. Anyway, enough about that, but go watch it. Serious. How do you feel about releasing an artist's song post-mortem? So somebody's been dead for 10 years and then all of a sudden another band comes out and he's on it. Or rap does this a lot where somebody releases an album after somebody's passed away. How do you feel about that?
I believe that it should be up to the person's estate, like their remaining family members, whoever controls the rights to their music. They should have the say in that. I don't think people should just do it willy-nilly. That's not very fair because you're not giving anybody a voice to it to decide.
That's fair. And I hear that. First thing I think, willy-nilly, my original rap name. Number two, what you're saying makes sense. I'm talking about as a consumer. Here's why I'm against it. Some band just released a song starring Brad Noel. Brad Noel, lead singer of Sublime.
Well, not anymore.
What? Why? What happened?
No, not anymore.
They got into a fight?
Yeah.
Or?
Yeah, he got into a fight with drugs and lost.
What?
Yeah.
That heroin, it is...
it seems delightful until it's not.
Mostly undefeated. So they released this song with some band that I've never heard of or whatever, and here's my issue. Very often, when these artists have music that has gone unreleased, the reason why it's unreleased is it's not that good.
It's bad.
It's not that good. They kept it in a locker. If they thought they could make money off of it, they would have used it. So Brad Noel, who was a voice for me growing up, I just never could find the fucking heroin, man. Wait, do I not look like I'm cool? Why would nobody offer me heroin?
No, you just don't have a heroin face.
I ask people, I say, I'm looking for a man about a horse.
Well, you keep raising your eyebrows.
I'm not a cop. I'm looking for a, yeah, so.
I would easily sell to you.
Heroin? Anyone? There's no heroin here. So and I love Brad Noel. He was a voice for me growing up. I don't know why, but the song is good until Brad Noel gets there.
So
not great.
So the band that you've never heard of got their hands on unreleased sounds by Brad Noel?
There's all sorts of stuff going on with Sublime. Sublime with Rome, I think, is over, and now
it is.
Brad Noel's son is coming in.
Something like that, yeah.
Long Beach Dub All-Star. There's a million things going on with that.
I thought Rome was the perfect fit to that band. It was just amazing.
I don't pretend to know that much about that realm of it, but I did very much like that.
Yeah.
All right, wacky one. Tyler, you're a stand-up comedian, is that correct?
Yeah.
Perhaps you can help me with something wacky here.
Okay.
I have the punchline to a joke, but I don't have the joke. The only issue is that it's a racist joke, I would assume. Unless you could figure a way out around that, which I would prefer, but I'm not sure how you're going to do that. So I have the punchline. I don't have the joke. Unfortunately, it's a racist joke.
Okay. All right. You're like Tarantinoing me with racism.
That's right.
Okay.
Tyler,
Got
it's
you.
Memento. You're the killer.
Oh, wow.
You are the killer.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, and the wife.
It really does that movie less justice knowing the end of it. Usually you got to wait for the payoff.
Is that really the end of it? I forget.
Yeah. Spoiler alert. It turns out he actually killed his wife because he couldn't remember anything.
Why would you tell us that?
Yeah, and his wife kept testing him to see if it was actually true, and he kept giving her shots for her diabetes, and eventually gave her too much and just killed her.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. He was the killer the whole time.
What's in the box, Tyler?
Gwyneth Paltrow's head.
What? Tyler!
Spoiler after
Tyler!
spoiler. Yeah.
Let us just say up front, even though it's on the back end, don't listen to this. Don't listen to this.
Yeah. Harry Potter defeats Voldemort.
Don't say his name!
Bruce Willis definitely beats Gary Oldman in Fifth Element and The Darkness, whatever it is.
Sixth Element, not that good. Did I derail you?
A little bit.
I apologize.
Although
Easter Bunny, not real. Fuck you, kids.
Jeez.
What?
Kids might listen to this.
If
Although if they
you're-
do, you're a bad parent.
You got what you deserved. Deal with that shit. This is a test to make sure your kids aren't listening. Okay.
And you failed.
Punchline to a racist joke, Tyler.
Uh-huh.
You ready? Because I need you to do the joke. Two Wongs don't make a white. I mean, that's not so bad, right?
Not terrible.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's a lot better when you don't have the setup. It's way better when you don't have anything, the precursor to
One
it.
would argue the only way to do it.
Yeah.
Okay, and finally for my serious topic, two Wongs don't make a white.
Yeah.
I just don't like it. It doesn't sit well with me. I today put my memory where my mouth is
Okay.
and signed up for BetterHelp.
Oh,
did
good for
it.
you.
They asked me a lot of really invasive questions, and I wrote in there like, you don't know me, bro. Like,
Yeah.
you're coming on really strong.
Yeah.
Maybe we should just chill for a little
Yeah,
bit.
is this eHarmony? Like, what the fuck? You set me up with a date?
How many fish are there? So I'm signed up.
Do you have not a reservation, an appointment with anyone to talk to them?
They have taken my information. It was very interesting. They asked me about my religious beliefs. I reported them to the president.
Okay.
No, they talked about my all types of things. My religion was one of them. My sexual preference. My just general questions to put me where I'm supposed to go. I've been giving myself so many excuses on why I'm not doing it. Like, I don't. Anyway, I did it today.
Good for you.
Thank you, my man.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Good luck with everything you discover, under the curtain,
You're
behind the curtain, excuse me.
Number one,
Yeah.
it's called my scrotum.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Number two,
That's what I was motioning for.
here's the he's like doing a little finger thing. Here's the thing. I'm already experiencing all of this, and I'm really proud of what it is that I'm doing. The fact of the matter is, not just a spiritual lead. I think I could use somebody with a psychological lead as well that I could bounce these ideas off of. I corner you quite often and just throw things at you. So I'm thinking maybe you could use a bit of a respite. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind tagging somebody in,
Yeah, he asked that you stop calling. And finally, Tyler, wacky one, but also kind of true. There's a guy at my gym that looks like handsome Squidward a lot.
Okay.
Can I tell him? It's ostensibly a compliment
Yeah.
if you think about it.
Yeah. Yeah. He's the more handsome version of an ugly person, which is that's a tough sell.
I guarantee you, I can find many pockets of the internet that find Squidward to be handsome. He's got a dick on his face.
Okay, that's the only upside for Squidward, though. Well, he's also got he's only got 4 tentacles, but
He does have 4 tentacles.
But they are tentacles.
That is true.
Yeah, you know what you can do with that.
Okay. Asian people, stop calling. We'll see what we can. Wait, maybe I shouldn't do that either.
Well,
With,
it's specifically Japan. Don't worry, I got you.
Thank you.
Japan
Thank
loves
you.
the tentacles
Thank
for
you.
some reason.
And you know what? 2 Wongs do make a white. I have come around, Tyler. I've come around on my Asian hate, and you know what? Right now, we don't need that.
My Asian,
Which I
hate.
don't have.
No. How can you come around on something you don't have?
You know what?
Yeah.
I preemptively came around.
There's a 360. He's right back where he started.
This is a dangerous one. Let's
It's enough with your Wongs. And you're right. Jesus.
Wow, that's like such a turn.
Am I marking this as the end of the pregame?
Yeah, I think
All right,
so.
good.
I'm worried that what I said is going to be misconstrued.
You do this to yourself.
I don't. You get me into a lather, Tyler.
You?
get me going crazy.
Me?
I want to impress you, and I say
Us?
things. Them? I don't know. All right, game time.
Yeah.